All right, welcome back to the IIY podcast. Today I got a new guest on today. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Hello, I'm Bryan Mehaffey. I own Haff's Hot Sauce. We make all natural fruit based pickle and mustard hot sauces.
Cool, man. How'd you get into this? How did this start?
Um, when I first started, it was about 3 years ago. I was really into craft hot sauces. A lot of the sauces reminded me of what I drink for craft beers,
Yeah,
and I was very intrigued with fruit sauces. And I tried a few of those finally that I kept seeing on Hot Ones and some of the other videos. And I was really disappointed. They didn't taste like that type of fruit. When I get a blueberry sauce, like when I see that, I want to taste actual blueberries in it, not just burn and pepper flavor. So I figured I'd give it a shot, and it turned out amazingly. And people told me to start a business with it. So
yeah.
here we are.
So, I mean, what was it like, first starting? What was your first sauce that you made?
The first sauce I made is actually not here on the table, and I keep getting requests to restock it. It's a very niche sauce that we make, but it was Indigo Fire. It's a blueberry, jalapeno, and habanero sauce. I
That
made it.
sounds good.
Yeah, I made it as a wonton dipping sauce when I started, and it just exploded. People loved it, and they're like, "You need to bottle this. You need to sell this." So I did, and then I just started creating from there. The next sauce we did was actually right here, pineapple. Um, and that actually taught me an important lesson in business. Make sure you put quotes in your Google search when you're looking to do a brand or a name of something before you do the trademark and all of that. If you're just Google searching without those, like you're gonna miss a lot of stuff. And then I actually found out there's another pineapple out there, and I'm friends with
Oh,
the maker of the other pineapple now, Jay, out in Colorado, but he runs Burns and McCoy, and yeah, we came to an agreement that we both use the name.
yeah.
And
No, that's cool. Then at least you guys both get to use it. That's a really cool name. I like that one. What was the next one after that?
after that was Sugar Rush Peach. I had looked and like there weren't many Sugar Rush Peach sauces out there. When I made mine, I found maybe two on the internet that people made with that pepper, and I didn't understand why they don't use it. They're easy to grow. They've got a delicious flavor. They're sweeter and they're kind of similar to a habanero.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I got to make a peach sauce out of this. So
So do you
we're
usually grow these then, some for the most part, or?
I do for the test batches.
Yeah.
That's another thing people they always ask at our local markets, like, why don't you grow your own peppers in the commercial ones? And I would have to be a farmer on top of it. And that's one thing I want to support. I want to support the makers, the beekeepers, the farmers. I'd rather pay them to do that job that they do exceptionally well instead of try and struggle doing five jobs at once. I'd rather only have one or two hats on at a time. So
Yeah, absolutely. Because it can be overwhelming, trying to do all these different things, and then you start struggling, and you're not making as much progress as you want. So that is a really good idea. And especially, just spending your time wisely. With figuring out what you really want to do and what you're passionate about. Because, say you got into the farming, and then you're like, man, this this sucks. It's too much work, and then you just all abandon ship. But you got to always spend your time wisely. That's good. You do that. When did the? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I've actually like I spent a lot of time in the forums through Facebook and other social media, and I've met a lot of makers, and I've talked to a lot of them that they do the farming, they do all these different aspects of it, and they don't have enough family life balance, or like it's just a lot of stress. So that just kind of pushed me into this avenue of doing it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, and that's good that you do because then you have more time, like you said, more time on your hands for family and whatever else you may enjoy doing. What was I guess how did the pickle sauce come about? I'm really interested in that one.
Sometimes simple is best, and with the pickle, we figured keep it simple, stupid simple, stupid delicious. Um, those were actually originally pickles from a vendor at a farmer's market, my home farmer's market. They had delicious pickles. It's like we need to make those spicy. We need to do a hot sauce, and we started with their pickles, and then realized we couldn't source enough from them. So we had to move to a larger type of pickle to use with it. But yeah, it's about as basic as you can get, and it's our best seller. So the only complaint we get is people want a little bit hotter.
Yeah.
So we're dropping Killer Pickle here in 2 weeks, and I think I actually have a sticker from it here
Oh,
on my
that's
wallet.
cool.
Yeah, that's our Killer Pickle.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that'll be on the next that one coming out. It's a Carolina Reaper dill pickle.
So there will be a mild kind of one and then a spicy one. That one, new one.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we try to range from. Well, you'll notice it's dad jokes are very heavy with our product. I'll get into that later. There's a big story with that, but yeah, we go from. I usually have a temperature gauge on my booth when I'm doing markets, and it's from mild to wild, from green to red, mild to dead. Um, yeah. Yeah, we try to cater from like grandma level all the way to Kyle level. So from grandma to drywall destroyer.
Yeah, no, no doubt. Because I mean, you really have you're going to have a different variety of customers if you offer those, and that's good that you have those different products because, my mom, like you said, old grandma, she don't want no hot no hot sauce. You know what I mean? But whereas me, I want really hot. And majority of everybody else. But there's the people that just want their little mild, a little kick to it, and that's cool. But for me, I definitely like the spicy ones. But no, that's good. You market both ways, all the way down the whole spectrum. um, I was gonna ask you, where did the name come from?
Um, my last name is Mehaffey, and I started this company in honor of my late father. He had a really cheesy dad sense of humor, and I decided to honor his memory in this company by taking his humor and having it live tastefully on in Half's hot sauce. So
That's awesome. No, I mean that's really cool. Is that kind of where you were gonna go in that direction with the dad jokes and stuff that you were talking about?
yeah, it really fit with it. I don't usually want to lead with that because you don't want to go like really dark with the story behind your company and then be like, hey, buy our delicious, beautiful hot sauce. So
Oh yeah, but I mean tradition, lives on, and that's awesome that you continue to put his legacy out there like that, and I mean it's keeping the memory living on. That's really awesome. I like that shirt, by the way, too.
yeah, the imagery actually in here too. This was my friend BJ. She's a potter. We had her design the logo for us, and she based this off of something I inherited from my ex mother-in-law. She was a gourd artist. She would dry gourds out, paint them into like sculpted pieces of art, and she had a whole series of these skulls. You'll see it in some of my live streams and other things I do. We use that skull and that imagery in there too. That's in honor of her as well. So I've had
Yeah,
people
that's
come at me
cool.
and say that we're satanic, we're evil. Uh, we've actually gotten letters too, people telling us we had to get right with God, and it's like, well, let's just keep it hot sauce. But
True.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
about what we do. There's a lot of thought in our brand and imagery.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you can definitely see. I mean, every idea comes from something or someone, and it's just the way you take it and how you apply it to your own business. I mean, what from the logos, from the sauce, and I mean the quotes. I mean, that's really cool that you do all these things.
Yeah, and then every label you see too on all of our products, we commission those. We started out with Ohio artists, going with our whole local theme, and we're actually starting to branch out. I've made more friends in the community and throughout different states. I've had to actually widen that net to some out of state artists. So
That's cool. I mean, that's really dope that it's really starting to expand and really take off like that. How do you market your hot sauce?
we've actually been pretty cheap with the way we've done our marketing. It's been Facebook groups. I soft sponsor some streamers at this point. Most of them are video game streamers, a lot of like middle-aged dad gamers. They advertise my product and review and stuff. Some of the big reviewers helped me in the beginning. Johnny Scoville, Heat 101. Um, is that too loud? Is that drowning out? Okay.
No, 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 that's good.
All right. But yeah, it's been a lot of word of mouth that's pushed us forward, and recently TikTok has helped us out a lot too. So
Yeah, I've seen that, and that's good that you have all them, avenues. I mean, you don't have to use a whole lot of, paying and stuff like that because I mean, I think hot sauce and is different, to like everybody, a majority of people like hot sauce or sauce something with their food, but, as a clothing, selling clothing, it's kind of harder. You actually have to kind of market it more, but, everybody loves food. Everybody has to eat food, and, it's a lot more easier, so that's kind of the direction, I'm thinking, I kind of want to do hot sauce as well, but your TikTok and what do you do to advertise on there? Because I did go through some of your videos. You live stream on there too?
yeah, I do live streams occasionally. I'm still trying to get my footing there. Like, I don't know exactly what people want to see for content, other than the pre-recorded. I found some of what they like on there, the viral trends. A little bit of it's been softly poking fun at the no react crowd. A lot of the people that go on there and they'll clip the video right after they taste something, or they'll take stuff and you can tell it's not the actual hot sauce or the actual product. So I've tried not to bully with that. I don't want to bully ever. We're family friendly. We're a positive company, but we've had a little bit of fun with that in a nice manner. That's pulled in a lot of views. Our biggest video to date was eating a spicy block of cheese, and it was completely fake on purpose. My buddy Craven Capsaicin got this special cheese. It's 16 million Scoville, death cheese, and I faked it with like Doritos and a block of Munster cheese, but I made sure it looked like I was recording, or it was recording the whole time. But yeah, actually got a lot of hate from that too. People thought I was making fun of him and dogging their boy, and it's like, no, we're friends. This was planned, and we've gotten over 11,000 views on that. So
Yeah, so I mean, it just really takes, to taking and making different videos, I mean, just trying to different avenues and stuff. And that's, once you get it down, I mean, it'll start growing, I think, I mean, especially like I said, back to the hot sauce food thing. I mean, everybody loves that. It's food. Everybody you have to. It's essential to eat food. So people are going to want to see more sides and sauces. And different dips and to really mix with the food. So it looks good. It's definitely, and especially with all the different flavors and stuff you have. So I mean it's just finding the right content videos people want to see. And eventually you can start marketing and selling on there. Are you able to put a link on there?
I've got my link. I've got it. I tried to set it up through my Shopify, and they are not friendly with food product from what I'm seeing. Out of all my SKUs, I have, oh God, 40 SKUs because I sell a couple other local companies stuff through my site. Merch is the only thing that will get approved on there. So, like, two of my hoodies that are out of stock, a shirt and sticker, and then my bottles when I had those. Those are the only things that will approve. You can still click and go to my website there, but yeah, they don't. It doesn't seem to let me sell actual food product on there, even if it was acidified and sealed and commercial grade.
Yeah, so they must I don't know, maybe they just don't feel safe with it yet. Who knows? I
Yeah, I
mean,
think it's a liability issue maybe on their side that they don't want to be pulled into that.
yeah, I could see that because, people home growing their own stuff and, they probably just don't really want to, mess with it. But
They don't want to get hit with tub sauce lawsuits.
someone's in there making hot sauce in their tub and shit. No, but I think that's really cool. You do have all the social medias down. It sounds like, and you have the Facebook groups. I mean, talk to me about that. Do they really help them Facebook groups?
Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram had like it doesn't really boost my sales. It has built like a long-term steady set of customers. Like, it's brought people in, but it TikTok is now like it's fast. People see it and like the orders come in quick. Like, I didn't have a whole lot of faith with boosting sales at first until I got a hold of my buddy Craven Capsaicin. Uh, that first weekend he reviewed my product, I did like $1,000 in sales. Like,
Damn, that's
yeah,
pretty good. I mean, it just goes to show.
Yeah, it did a ton. I mean, we do a lot of wholesale behind the scenes, but yeah, for my online sales, like that's the most I've ever gotten all at once was from the beginning of TikTok.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, $1,000, that's pretty damn good just from a review.
Yeah. Yeah, we were on vacation and I'm sitting there with my phone in the mount. We're driving through upstate New York and it's just like bing, 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 like nonstop.
Damn, that had to have been a good feeling, especially on vacation. Shit.
Yeah. But I knew coming back it was going to be busy too, though. It's like I got a lot of orders to get out.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to kind of ask you too. I mean, when you make these, do you make a certain amount for a batch and then just how long do they last? Are they like good for a
You
year or
get
two?
2
Or
years. Yeah, you get 2 years. You'll see on the bottom of them, like you can't see here, but it has a batch date. It's 2 years from the day you make it. They usually go quite longer than that, but that's what you have to do. FDA regulated and USDA, you have to have 2 years on that. And that's usually you have to go through a process authority for your recipe, and they determine that as well. It'll actually tell you pretty much to the day like how long that should last based on their tests or your ingredients in your
yeah,
product.
that makes sense that they do that. I mean, that's what I've always kind of wondered. I mean, you can make your own, and seal it or whatever, and then, maybe just say, oh, it's good for a year. But, that's good that once you get, actually legitimized, then they actually are able to tell you how long. That's really cool. Uh, so you were saying that you do a lot of the sales online, through your website. Do you do any like in any stores or anything like that yet?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah. And you were asking about the making of it too. We've gotten to the point where we use a co-packer. Um, I create the recipes, and they actually manufacture the stuff for me at a larger scale, so I can actually meet the demand that we have now. So yeah, my co-packer, they're in Columbus, Ohio, so they're about an hour and 45 minutes away from me. So I'll get it scheduled. They make it, they label it. Like I have the labels sent there that are printed, and then I actually have a finished product at that point. So that gives me the time to actually go out and market it, sell it. During busy season this year, I'll be doing like 6 to 8 markets a week in events. So yeah, I don't have time to be in the kitchen at this point. So they actually make it for me. So co-packer is actually a really great route to start if you're trying to build. Um, yeah, you'll get some hate for that too, though. Some people say, "Why aren't you making your own sauce?" Well, got to yet again all those hats. So
no, that's awesome that you're able to be at that point now. And how long have you been doing this?
I started. My timing was horrible. It was right when COVID started coming into the states. I started the process of getting a kitchen certified cannery in November 2019. So we started full steam in that kitchen February 2020 in the middle of COVID, and I wasn't an employee there. It was at a vocational school, and it was supposed to be an incubator setup, and they wanted to do that with other companies going forward to try and help restaurants and makers develop their company through there. And then with COVID as bad as it was, I had to find another kitchen because I became a liability then because I wasn't employed there. So that's why we actually moved to the co-packer. I didn't think I could afford it, but I found a good one for like they had a very low minimum. Most places you go, they want you to do like 300 gallons to start. That's a lot of investment. That's a super cheap sauce. That's like $10,000 to $12,000 to do like 300 gallons. But
Damn, I don't doubt that. No, but I mean that's cool though that you definitely have grown. I mean, since COVID, you were able to maintain and start a business and really get it to where it is today in 2022. I mean, it's definitely really took off and grown really quick. I mean, from everything you told me, when did you actually start messing with these recipes? Were you messing with them like years before, or did you just
it
kind of
was
start?
it was actually the year before I started. I came out with the blueberry and the pineapple, and then it was basically just like with my friends, family, like people around here. I wasn't selling, but I was testing to see what they liked, what worked, what was popular, and then yeah, it took about a year to develop into where we started doing the actual legal process to actually become a business with it. So
Yeah, no doubt. And then you started selling like honey and jerky as well, right?
Yeah, we got a lot of requests for the stuff that was going into our products because the people knew those people locally. So, like the honey that's in our killer kiwi, and my shouldn't say it, but razzle dazzle. Hopefully, we'll get that back soon. Can't get raspberries to save my life right now. They're super expensive. But yeah, people wanted the honey that was in the sauce, and figured, hey, why not sell their product when I'm not at a market with them? And we started doing the hot versions of the honey too. So I actually source the peppers, and we do hot honey with them. So, and that's been really popular as well. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, how do you even make hot honey?
you use dry product. You want your peppers dried out when you put it in there to infuse. The infusion process, as far as I know, I haven't done it personally. They do the infusion. I know they use a lot of sunlight and time with it. But yeah, you want to use dry so it doesn't cause spoilage. If you have fresh peppers, you have moisture in there, and that'll actually cause issues with it's your water activity level. Yeah, getting super deep here, but yeah, you have water activity issues with sauce too in that process. But yeah, with the honey, it doesn't stay preserved with more moisture in there. It can
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I
optimal
see.
bacteria.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Let's see. I was also gonna ask, what other sauces you got coming? Like, what are you kind of working on for the
Uh,
future, if you can talk about it?
yeah. Killer Pickle comes out here in 2 weeks. Just waiting on the artwork to be finalized and the labels to be printed. But yeah, Killer Pickle's a Reaper version of the Trippy Pickle. After that, we're actually working with a local mushroom grower, my buddy at Miller's Mushrooms. We're doing Oi Oi Oi. It is a punk rock mushroom on the label, and it's made with oyster mushrooms. It's similar to a vinaigrette. It's a very interesting one and tested extremely well. But that's coming out here soon. We've got Mary Lewid, which is a Welsh tradition based sauce. It's a cranberry, jalapeno, habanero, and raisin sauce. Picture your grandmother or your mother's cranberry can that she'd bring out and dump onto the plate for Thanksgiving. A spicy, delicious version of that. That's Mary Lewid. Um, yeah, and then a bunch more in the pipeline that I can't talk about.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I really like that you have all these different flavors, and I'm sure a lot of your people, the customers, really appreciate that you do all these different varieties because, I mean, you don't like for me, here in Nebraska, the stores and stuff, I don't really see all those kind of different sauces. So, I mean, that's really cool that they have that, and that you're, making that strive and doing all these. I mean, and it's really taken off, in these last few years.
Yeah, it is tough to not keep making them because it's a big investment each time you do a new flavor. And my board at my office is huge. I got a dry erase board with about 15 more flavors that I want to do. And then every week or so, I come up with another idea. Like this weekend, I'm going to get supplies to test a super hot blueberry called BFG, taking you back to the Doom era days, the PC gaming. It's Blueberry Freaking Ghost, is what I'm calling it. But yeah, it's a blueberry lemon bar ghost pepper hot sauce I'm doing. So
Yeah, that sounds good. So it sounds like the idea is they never stop. They just keep coming in. You write them down so you don't forget them. That's one of the best things to do, man. Is write them down because you don't write it down, man. Them ideas fly right through your head. You know what I mean? That's definitely how it goes with me.
you just don't want to tell people those ideas all the time because they always want that new. Like I get that constantly, like, what you got new? It's like I got 10 sauces on the table here, man. I'm juggling. But
Yeah, I'm sure. I guess for like I was telling you before we did this, the start of the interview. I had questions that I kind of found online. That I think that you could help beginning people that are wanting to get in the hot sauce industry, or think they want to kind of get into starting to make their strides into it. Um, I guess what was like one advice that you would have wanted to know when you first started the hot sauce business?
contact your local health department, or if you have like an incubator setup, We're lucky where I'm at. My office is in a business incubator now, and they have the small business department there. If you have something like that in your area, contact them. They can give you a lot of the information that's really tough to find out there. I learned by Google searching, going through some forums, starting to make some phone calls. I taught myself most of what I needed to do through this process. Yeah, our Department of Agriculture helped me out a ton in this process too.
Right, because I mean, when people, make hot sauce, it's not just, okay, I'm gonna, boil the peppers, put vinegar and all this stuff, blend it. I mean, you kind of, in order to actually seal it too, I mean, you have to, how do you seal it? I mean,
I
for
do hot pour process. There's also cold pour. Cold pour is a lot more expensive process. I have not done that. I don't have that kind of money. I'm a micro business, so I started out the old-fashioned way, boiling with test stuff on my stove in a pot and pouring through a funnel, burning my hands through the gloves, pouring. But yeah, you step that up to a larger process, and yeah, we do hot pour, 180 to 200 degrees. 5 minutes usually is what it calls for to boil at that and hold that temperature, and then you pour at that temperature into your bottle. So
right. So what you're saying is like, so you cook the peppers in, okay, so say you're cooking the peppers, the jalapenos, you got the vinegar boiling underneath, at a simmer, and then after that, once it's cooked and you blend it, you put it back in like the pot. And
no, well, you can if you're doing another level of immersion blending. If you're trying to get a finer blend, some people strain it if they want a thinner sauce. I usually keep all that pulp in there, but but yeah, you pour it at that temperature into the bottle, and then you cap it, and then you invert it. Usually, I think it's, what is it, 2 minutes inverted. Then they tell you to flip it, but you really don't have to flip it. A lot of times it'll just sit in the case. I just reuse the cardboard cases the glass comes in, and I set them like this, and they're inverted. And what that does, that sterilizes the top of the cap, and it creates a vacuum from your heat. As it cools off, your vacuum creates there, and you have a hermetic seal. You'll see on your caps too. You usually have a like a foam liner in there too that helps create that vacuum against the glass between that and the heat.
right. So I mean, basically, to sum it up, you all you have to do is pour your mix or whatever it is that you're cooking into a funnel into the bottle at 200 degrees with the pH level being under 4.6.
Yeah, and pH is very, very important. If you're going to do any of this, even for like home use, I would suggest investing in a pH meter. They range from like $25 to, I think the one I have for my test batches was like $100. But you need a pH meter. You want to make sure you're under 4.2 pH, or you can have live spores, botulism, bacteria, lots of issues with that. That's the first thing you want to do with hot sauce is get a pH meter. So
Yeah, because I didn't even know that. I was just kind of looking online, like you said, and it's like, oh, well, now you need a pH meter, because you need to make sure that the bacteria and stuff isn't going to grow in these bottles when they're, sitting for a year or two, because you got to always make sure the shelf life is going to be okay, because you don't want all this bacteria and stuff coming in there. Then you're going to have some pretty pissed off customers.
yeah, and you also there it's different state by state, but you want to make sure you look into a process authority. I use Cornell University in New York. It's more expensive being that I'm not a New York citizen or like not business in New York. I pay almost double for the recipes, but they're really great to work with. And we don't actually have one in Ohio anymore. When I started, it was Ohio State University, and timing with that was awful too. It was about a week after I started. That lady left, and that department fell apart. So they don't have a process authority in Ohio. So yeah, it's about $150 to
Yeah.
get a product submitted and approved. But yeah, you have to have that letter to commercially sell your product in most states and sell across state lines. So yeah, it's another step of the process.
Yeah, no, there's quite some. You were saying that you like you to keep the pulp in there, right? Instead of straining it, because with yours it's the fruity stuff, and so basically you really want to keep that flavor in there, right? And like same thing with like jalapenos. People that make the sauce, I mean, doesn't like straining it, won't that kind of take the spiciness away from it?
You do lose a little bit of the spiciness. A lot of your heat is in your the membrane of the peppers. So if that some of that is staying in with what you're blending, you are losing some of that. But sometimes that's the sauce you're looking for. I mean, there's so many different applications. Like my pineapple, that is a thinner sauce. We still have like pineapple pulp and ghost pepper pulp, but it's a little bit thinner. So you can use that in some other applications. You wouldn't want like a chunkier, pulpier sauce. So
How do you go about making your hot sauce thinner and thicker?
there you can add xanthan gum to them. That's either a good thing or a huge no-no in the community. Like a lot of people will say xanthan is evil and you shouldn't use it. When I started out, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was using oh, what's it called? It's a type of flour. It's what tapioca is made out of. I can't think of the name of it. Um, yeah, I can't think of it. It's a type of flour, but yeah, like I said, it's the base of tapioca, and it's that gets clumpy. You don't get clumpy with xanthan gum, but that stuff you can ruin a batch like really quick. A little bit of xanthan goes a long way.
Damn, yeah. So what do you mainly do, I guess, to kind of thin it out? Then you just add that.
Well, usually when I make a sauce, I don't thin it out. I usually like it. I get to that point, and that's where I'm happy with it. Either I'll blend it more, puree it more, or I plan it that way. Like the Indigo Fire, I plan it to be a thinner sauce with just a little bit of blueberry in there. There's no like major solid that goes into that one.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Yeah, because I mean, with yours, I mean, they're kind of meant to be a little bit thicker because they have all these different kind of flavors and fruits, pickles. I mean, all kinds of different stuff. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense not to. Let's see.
Yeah, like the blueberry, I aim for that one to be a vinaigrette style. So like that one, I try and market more towards like a salad dressing or other applications. You'd want a thinner vinaigrette.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you? So I guess when I look up a lot of stuff about hot sauce, it says in there's a lot of recipes on how to make fermented ones. You know what I mean? So it don't have to be actually fermented, in order to make these sauces, does it?
No, it doesn't, but you lose so much by not fermenting. If I'm making a personal batch for myself, I'm always going to ferment it. Like you get so much depth, so much complexity, so much flavor. Umami just explodes out of fermented sauces. That process, it's amazing what you yield from it. But with me using a co-packer, I don't have that option. Um, I don't have the space to have ferments just sit in them to use. And yet again, it's also a liability working with that because if it's not cooked out completely, the fermentation continues. So that will, like, if you have fermentation continuing, it's not processed right, boiled off and pasteurized, it will start to bubble out and volcano out of your product. So that's a liability usually a co doesn't want to deal with.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's scary. I mean, you don't really want to take too big of risks until you have the operation set up to where you can have all these things stored, and be able to, ferment. For how long would you like to ferment all your products if you could?
Um, I mean, you start to get some good flavor after a month, but yeah, you want to do multiple months to get a really great flavor out of that fermentation.
Yeah, I think I seen like I think I read like even like Tapatio or some shit does theirs for like 3 years.
Yeah, Frank's is actually it's a pretty long one too. I think it's 3 or 5, and they use like don't they use like a certain type of barrel too? I think.
Yeah, that's what I was reading. I don't know the name of the barrel, but yeah, they store it for quite a long time, and then they able to sell it and process it or however they do it. You know what I mean? And then it lasts long. I mean, then they get their distinct flavor that they want. I mean, that's pretty insane that they're able to do that.
Yeah, and then people give them so much hate on that too. But I mean, it's a long process, and it's a really great sauce. Frank's has its place.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's everywhere too. I mean, it's definitely all over the US, and they have all their ads. I mean, everywhere. I mean, I always see them. But yeah, I think that's did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, I get a lot of questions about like where you can find Half's hot sauce. We have a locator on our website, so you can actually go on the map there and see everywhere in the world we're at. We're currently in 4 other countries, and I think we're at 18 states right now, and growing every day. Um, we actually just got into more of Illinois now too, so I got into Chicago,
Congratulations.
spots there. But yeah, if you don't have a place near you on there, ask the places you go to. If it's a place that has a craft type hot sauce, I mean, if they have like $2 or $3 like whatever Creek version of Frank's they're probably not going to want to carry it. But it doesn't hurt to ask. Like if you ask for Half's hot sauce there, we do have a distributor. Um, you can get a hold of me. You can message me through my tech support, through my website and my Facebook page, and I can contact these people. I can try and get it on a shelf near you so you don't have to pay shipping. But yeah, we keep growing, and if you want it there, just ask.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, that's probably the best way to really do it. I mean, that's cool that's sometimes that's all it really takes is just to ask, and asking you shall receive maybe.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
I've been pounding the pavement for the last year and a half, getting into stores. A lot of other makers, they're like, "How do you talk to these people?" It's like, I just call them up on the phone, man. Like I'll try and lead with like a Facebook post to my website so they have it. But yeah, I'll just call them up, talk to them, tell them about my brand, and try and get set up. And usually we're pretty successful. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, I mean it's really like I said, really taken off, man. I mean, for only being in the game for like 3 years. Yeah.
yeah, as you
Dang.
know, as a company you've set up from just the ground up, they don't just come to you. You gotta work for it.
No, that's for sure. I mean, that's definitely with anything. If you want something to work, man, you got to go after it and you got to go and get it and chase it.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, did you have anything else? Did you have any other websites or links where anybody else can find you at?
Yeah, actually, we're about 2 days away from a big giveaway on TikTok. So if you're on there, follow at Half's Hot Sauce. Everybody that follows me, we're up to like 2,200 people now, followers. You're all entered in for our grand prize drawing Monday night. You get a 4 pack and a awesome half box. You'll end up getting some bumble beef jerky. Uh, Glaring there, but that's my friend's beef jerky business. We're going to be working with her soon. Get some honey and a bunch of other great stuff, and get one of those awesome stickers for Killer Pickle too, and a test bottle of that blueberry freaking ghost I was talking about. I'm going to throw that in as well. So
Yeah, man, that sounds great. I mean, so everybody go check that out. That's for sure. I mean, that's gonna be really good. Especially get all those test free ones too, man. Damn.
yeah, and then
Uh,
we're running a sale through this weekend too. $5 on Main Squeeze, our watermelon rhubarb chipotle with maple syrup. It's a super mild barbecue style. $60 or more gets you free shipping, and $8 flat rate throughout the U.S. But yeah, halfshotsauce.com for that.
oh yeah, and I'll be able to put them underneath your where you're at, on this screen, and I'll be able to put all your ats and stuff on there too. So then it'll be a lot easier for them to just read it, click it, look it up, whatever.
Yeah, and
But
I'll
yeah,
give you a promo code too, man. I'll sponsor you if you want that. So you and your fans will get say 10% off. So
yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, just let me know how to go about doing that. I've never
yep.
done one of them before.
What do you want your code to be?
IIY.
All right, IIY. That'll be your promo code, and you'll use that at checkout.
All right, for sure, man. Hang back after I end this call, but or after I'll hit end on this. But thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate it. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.